The legacy of Tyron Smith will live on far beyond his final snap in the NFL. Earlier today, the Dallas Cowboys held the official retirement ceremony for the legendary offensive tackle, a moment as emotional as it was historic. Smith, a cornerstone of the franchise for more than a decade, now steps away from the game with honors already lining up. He is almost certainly headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and just as significant within the Cowboys culture, one team executive confirmed that Smith will join the prestigious Ring of Honor, standing shoulder to shoulder with Cowboys royalty like Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. His name, much like his play, will be immortalized in Dallas. But as one chapter closes, another opens. While the franchise pauses to celebrate its past, it must confront a crucial part of its future, the NFL Draft. With less than 2 weeks to go, the energy surrounding the Cowboys' draft strategy is reaching a boiling point. Rumors are flying, speculation is mounting, and everyone wants to know, what are the Dallas Cowboys going to do with their first-round pick? There's a growing belief, and not just within league circles, but also among local analysts, that a trade down could be on the table. A recent segment on a Dallas area radio show hinted strongly that the Cowboys aren't expected to trade up. Given the current makeup of the roster and the perceived depth of this year's class between picks 10 and 25, it's easier to imagine the Cowboys moving back, collecting additional assets, and still landing a player who fits their system. That approach would not only be logical, it might be the wisest path forward. The difference in talent between the 8th and 18th picks isn't as wide as you might think, and in fact, it's narrower than in many previous drafts. Analysts have pointed to prospects like Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter as top-tier names, and even players like Ashton Jenney and Mason Graham are considered close behind. Depending on the positional need, a team might find that the player available at 18 isn't much different from the one they would have taken at 8. That reality fuels the idea that more teams are looking to trade down rather than up. And therein lies the paradox. If everyone's looking to move back, who's actually going to be willing to move up? So while the idea of a trade down feels logical, even beneficial, it might be hard to pull off simply because there aren't enough buyers in that part of the draft. The Cowboys are slotted at the 12th pick, and unless a quarterback falls or a defender like Jared Verse or Laiata Latu becomes the apple of another team's eye, it's difficult to see a bidding war erupting for that spot. But if there's a rush on quarterbacks early, say 5 taken in the top 10, it would inevitably push quality talent further down the board. That's the kind of scenario that could put Dallas in a perfect position to either land a blue-chip prospect or command leverage in a trade. For now, though, the expectation is that the Cowboys will remain put in the first round and let the board come to them. That patience may not last in a day 2, and certainly not in a day 3, when things begin to get far more aggressive. As of today, Dallas holds 7 picks for day 3, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th. The odds of them staying put with all of those picks? Slim. The front office is expected to package selections to move up, perhaps into the 4th round, or even swing a deal for a veteran contributor. The front office has a track record of using day 3 picks as trade currency, and considering their needs, running back, cornerback, wide receiver, and defensive tackle, there's no way they can fill all those holes with 3 picks after 145 overall. They may try to flip a 6th rounder for a future 5th, or even acquire a future 6th to keep the pipeline stocked. And let's not forget about the possibility of using those picks to acquire proven veterans. It's been done before, and it's entirely within reason again. This year, the team also appears to be operating with a smaller window of opportunity when it comes to undrafted free agents. Normally, Dallas carries a deeper pool of UDFAs into rookie camp, but current estimates suggest they'll only have 4 to 5 open slots. That's significantly less than usual, and it raises the stakes for late-round picks to actually contribute. It also means the Cowboys could be considering additional roster moves before the draft even ends. A surprise cut, a minor trade, or even a cap-saving maneuver could be on the horizon. The work, as it stands now, is far from done. And speaking of surprises, one name gaining traction inside draft circles, and specifically tied to the Cowboys, is Texas cornerback Jay Barron. At first glance, cornerback doesn't seem like a pressing need. But the loss of veteran during free agency has left the secondary with a void, and Barron might just be the kind of player who fits their mold. He logged over 900 snaps in college and was widely praised for his zone coverage ability. In fact, at one point, he was graded as the best zone cover corner in the country. That kind of skill set could thrive in Dan Quinn's old system and still hold value under the current defensive staff. Barron also tested well athletically, and while his arm length may not meet the Cowboys' typical thresholds, they've never drafted a cornerback with arms that short. His versatility and instincts could outweigh the measurables. He has the ability to play outside, in the nickel, and even line up at safety in certain sub-packages. He's also a willing tackler in run support, which would help replace the physical presence lost during free agency. One source even indicated that Barron is very enthusiastic about the idea of joining Dallas and sees himself as a perfect fit in the locker room. That kind of mindset can go a long way when trying to build a defense with a tough identity. But the pick would still be unexpected. He's not being projected in most first-round mocks, which makes this one of those classic high-ceiling, low-predictability selections that fans either love or hate. And yet, the more you think about it, the more it begins to make sense. The Cowboys have talked extensively about drafting the best player available, regardless of need. If Barron is sitting there when they're on the clock, and the board has thinned out at premium positions like tackle or defensive line, pulling the trigger wouldn't be that far-fetched. It would be a calculated gamble, and one that might pay off handsomely. Still, we're only scratching the surface. What happens in the war room when the phones start ringing? Will a team actually make an offer to move up to number 12? Would the Cowboys pass on a surefire starter just to collect extra picks? Or will they stay put and make a surprising but smart choice, like Barron? That's the beauty and agony of draft season. The speculation never ends, and the reality often throws us a curveball. The looming shadow over the Dallas Cowboys offseason isn't just the draft, it's the cap. And more specifically, how the team continues to walk this delicate line between contending and conserving. 4 years now, Jerry Jones and the front office have operated with a philosophy that relies heavily on homegrown talent, value contracts, and cap flexibility. But that philosophy is about to be stress-tested like never before. Then there's CeeDee Lamb. The all-pro wide receiver is due for a massive payday, and unlike with Prescott, there's zero doubt that the Cowboys want to keep him. He's the engine of their offense and has become the emotional leader of the locker room. Negotiations are reportedly ongoing, but the wide receiver market has exploded, and Lamb's camp is likely using Justin Jefferson's pending mega deal as a baseline. A deal could approach or even exceed $30 million per year, and that kind of number dramatically impacts how the Cowboys can build out the rest of the roster. Micah Parsons is another ticking time bomb. He's still under team control, but not for long. When his extension window opens, he could reset the market for defensive players entirely. Parsons isn't just a pass rusher. He's a game wrecker, a hybrid force who can line up at edge, linebacker, or even in coverage. His impact on the game is immense, and his price tag will reflect that. We're talking upwards of $35 million per season if the market continues to inflate. That kind of contract changes how you approach every other position, from your left guard to your nickel corner. So how does this all tie back to the draft? Simple. The Cowboys must hit on rookie contracts to survive. The days of signing splashy free agents are gone. The margin for error is razor thin. Every pick in this year's draft matters more, because the front office knows they're going to be handing out 3 franchise-altering deals within the next 18 months. Those players, Prescott, Lamb, Parsons, will soon take up nearly 40% of the cap. If the rest of the roster isn't filled with productive, cheap talent, Dallas can forget about competing in January. That's why the team has spent so much time doing in-depth scouting on day 2 and day 3 prospects. The belief inside the building is that the meat of this draft is in rounds 2 through 5. It's why the Cowboys have ramped up their interviews with offensive linemen projected in the 3rd round, running backs in the 4th, and even hybrid linebackers who can contribute immediately on special teams. Names like Bose Limmer, Kamani Vidal, and Cedric Gray keep popping up, not because they're flashy, but because they're functional. These are the types of players who fill out the core of a playoff team. One particularly intriguing development is how Dallas might use its capital on a mid-round wide receiver. Don't be surprised if they double-dip at the position. Behind CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, the room is thin. Jalen Tolbert has shown flashes but hasn't broken out. Michael Gallup, once a trusted deep threat, has become a candidate for a post-June 1 release due to his contract and declining production. That opens the door for a rookie or two to make an impact early. Someone like Jalen McMillan out of Washington or Luke McCaffrey from Rice could be in play on day 2. The staff is reportedly high on both, especially McCaffrey, whose football IQ and route precision mirror the traits of his older brother in San Francisco. The running back room is also a point of concern. With Tony Pollard gone and no clear bell cow on the roster, the Cowboys are staring at a void in one of the most critical offensive roles. The front office has been hesitant to spend a premium pick on a running back, especially after the Ezekiel Elliott saga, but the door is slightly ajar this year. If someone like Trey Benson or Marshawn Lloyd falls to the 3rd or 4th round, Dallas could pounce. They're looking for a downhill runner with pass-blocking chops and the ability to catch passes out of the backfield. Think of it as a poor man's Alvin Kamara. The versatility is essential. Another layer to this strategy is how the Cowboys are evaluating character. In recent years, they've taken chances on players with red flags, and while some have panned out, others have not. The new front office directive is clear: no unnecessary risks. With the coaching staff under scrutiny and Mike McCarthy entering a prove-it year, there's no room for locker room distractions or immature prospects. Every prospect interviewed is put through an extensive psychological and leadership evaluation. They want winners, leaders, guys who won't flinch in December. And finally, there's the war room dynamic itself. Every draft season, fans get treated to snippets of footage from inside the Cowboys headquarters. The call to the pick, the hugs, the handshakes. But behind the scenes, it's a hive of tension and strategy. This year, expect Will McClay to have more control than ever. He's the architect of many recent draft hits: Lamb, Parsons, Diggs, and his voice carries immense weight. If there's a disagreement between McClay's board and Jerry's gut, this might be the year McClay wins out. There's also a belief that the Cowboys will run a live simulation of the draft this weekend. It's become something of a tradition, a way for the staff to rehearse various scenarios. Runs on offensive tackles, unexpected falls, trades. Every variable is accounted for. They'll test what happens if a top corner slides, or if a team calls about pick 12 with a juicy offer. It's preparation, but it's also foreshadowing. Because come draft night, the unexpected will happen, and the Cowboys are determined to be ready. One executive recently said off the record, "We're not just picking players, we're picking a strategy. This draft is about how we stay elite without going broke." That sentiment says it all. The Cowboys are playing chess, not checkers. Every pick is a move towards sustainability. Every trade offer, every medical report, every second on the clock is weighed with the franchise's next 5 years in mind. This draft isn't just about 2025, it's about 2027, 2028, and beyond. It's about surviving the era of superstar contracts while staying relevant in January. It's about keeping the flame alive while reloading the arsenal. Tyron Smith's era may have ended, but his example of consistency, strength, and silent leadership remains the blueprint. And now, with the world watching, the Cowboys step into a new era, one calculated selection at a time. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The rumors surrounding Baker Mayfield's potential move to the Dallas Cowboys have been dominating headlines in recent days. A shocking twist in the NFL offseason. The possibility of Mayfield donning the star on his helmet has fans and pundits alike speculating about how this could shake up the NFC landscape. From being the number 1 overall pick in 2018 to leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a division title and a playoff win, Mayfield's journey has been anything but conventional. Now, as whispers grow louder regarding his future. Could this be the next step in the unpredictable career of the fiery quarterback? Mayfield, who has experienced both dazzling highs and frustrating lows in his NFL career, is coming off a solid season with the Buccaneers. Under his leadership, the team secured a division crown and even made some noise in the playoffs. However, with questions about his long-term fit in Tampa Bay, the possibility of him moving to Dallas could be the fresh start he needs. The Cowboys, with a playoff-caliber roster and Super Bowl aspirations, could potentially offer Mayfield the stability and support he's been craving since his rocky tenure with the Cleveland Browns. What's fueling the speculation? Reports suggest that Cowboys management has been impressed by Mayfield's resilience and ability to lead a team through adversity. After his high-profile struggles in Cleveland, followed by brief stints in Carolina and Los Angeles, Mayfield's bounce-back performance with the Buccaneers appears to have caught the attention of Cowboys executives. His recent 3-year contract extension with Tampa Bay may seem to put an end to the rumors, but sources close to the team suggest Dallas could offer a trade package that would be hard for the Buccaneers to pass up. With the Cowboys' quarterback situation still uncertain beyond Dak Prescott, Mayfield could serve as an experienced backup or even a potential starter in the right scenario. The Cowboys have been searching for the perfect balance at the position, and with the upcoming NFL draft looming, adding a proven veteran like Mayfield could allow them to solidify their QB depth. It's no secret that Dallas has often been linked with high-profile quarterbacks, and with Mayfield's name now in the mix, the potential for a blockbuster trade could be on the horizon. As the rumors intensify, the question remains, could this move take the Cowboys over the top, or would it be another gamble in a series of bold moves by Jerry Jones and company? The answer is far from clear, but one thing is certain. The football world is watching intently, and with each passing day, the anticipation surrounding Baker Mayfield's future only grows stronger. Keep your eyes on Dallas, because the next chapter in Mayfield's career could be just about to begin. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.